Mambo Mike here. Water, one of the most important nutrients for the body. So I get a lot of questions asking me which method of water purification or filtering is the best. And the answer is there is no best. It depends on what you want. It's a bit like asking what's the best car. Well, it depends on if you want fuel economy, you want a car that's comfortable, you want something that goes off-road, you want to drive fast, you want to be able to haul a lot of cargo, depending on how much money you want to spend. So that's going to vary, right? So you get the idea. So for water, there are many different options. I'm just going to do a quick overview of a lot of the popular options you can look into. The first one is spring water. If you can get natural spring water from a spring, that's probably one of the best options you can use, but you have to make sure that you get the water tested. If you're lucky enough to have access to spring water, either that you can bottle and bring home, or if you have one on your property, get the water tested. Make sure there's no contaminants in it. If there are possibly, or you have a well, you can run that water through a filtering system at home. Second one is reverse osmosis, which filters through a membrane. And one major problem with that is that although it will remove fluorides and salts and other large particles, chemicals such as pharmaceuticals and pesticides and things like that will get through the membrane, and it requires a lot of upkeep, and it also wastes a lot of water. So you'll be using about 2 to 3 gallons of water wasted in order to get 1 gallon of drinkable water. Third one is distilled. So distilled is basically water that's boiled and you catch the steam. And that will be a unit that's going to require energy to heat the water. And also you'll be possibly releasing contaminants from the distiller into your home or environment depending on the type of unit you have. So make sure you check that. Fourth is the one that I use, which is a basic carbon ceramic filter. And I also have a second filter, which is a heavy metal filter, which will remove fluoride and other metals. And I like that one because it's just a simple, easy to install, not much fuss, and it does the job, and the water tastes great. Fifth one is bottled water. Bottled water, I mean, the quality will vary depending on where you're getting it from, but one concern is the water that's being packaged in plastics. Some might have BPAs, and some of the bottled water quality is worse than or equal to tap water. So make sure you do your research on that. Then there's ionizers. Some people like getting water that's alkaline. I'm not going to get too much into the pH here. If that's something that you're interested in, you can look that up. But the ionizers basically are regular filters. Sometimes a carbon filter, sometimes they could be a different system. The purity of the water will depend on the filtering system itself. But once it gets filtered, it gets ionized, which creates the alkalinity in the water. And as far as minerals go, the reverse osmosis and the distilled water will remove the minerals. So if that's a concern for you, you can look up either other methods of filtering that will not remove the minerals, or you can have the minerals put back in. Some people put a little bit of sea salt or Himalayan salt or something like that, and there's other products that they sell on the market that help you replenish the missing minerals in the water. But as far as purity of water, the distilled water is the purest. Then there's other people talk about blessing the water or adding crystals to water to improve the vibration. And although that will be true, it will not make dirty water clean water. So that alone as a method of purification is not one that I recommend. So ideally, if you have the money or you have the means to get a complicated system, there are multi-layered systems that involve different steps in the process of purifying the water. For example, you could have it distilled and then you can have it run through a structuring system that will structure the water and then run it through crystals and all this kind of stuff. Or you can get a reverse osmosis system that will filter the water and then run into a carbon filter to remove the other chemicals that pass through the reverse osmosis membrane. So basically you have different things that you want to consider. The cost of the unit, which includes the cost of maintenance and the filters and all this other stuff, and also how difficult it is to install. So some of the more expensive systems, like the reverse osmosis, will be more involved and costly to install. And then of course, how often you have to change the membranes or the filters or whatever, that's added to the upkeep. So you can see there's a lot of pros and cons to each one. I'm just kind of running through them briefly, but just pointing out to you that there's no one perfect system. It's a matter of what your priorities are and how much you want to spend. And also keep in mind that if you're going to filter tap water, to check with your local water supply municipality to find out if there's fluoride in your water, because in many countries there aren't, but in the US there are a lot of cities that do put fluoride in the water, so you'll have to keep that in mind when you choose your filtering system. So I'm going to add some links down below for more information. Hopefully you found this helpful, and if you did, please share, like, and subscribe.